Sounds amazing though, like an amazing experience. I mean, looking back behind you, do you regret anything about it, or?
I don't think so.
No, not particularly.
There's nothing I don't look back and think about, like, I wish I'd done it differently. I think we did really go with the flow of what needed to be done, I would say.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't really regret stopping either. Like, not that I hated doing, I'd have loved to continue, but it wasn't really the time for it, for us, or really for the scene, because the scene was struggling.
Yeah, grassroots is really falling apart.
Yeah.
We can probably touch on that in a bit more detail.
Do you want to touch on that now? It's like what actually happened with the grassroots scene and why you guys sort of
we
disbanded.
can pop back what you were saying, Bucket, afterwards if you want.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, like I don't know exactly when it was, but the grassroots communities, the tournament organizations, did kind of begin to realize that it was becoming increasingly hard to continue doing events because there wasn't adequate support from Psyonix.
It was shortly after they got acquired, wasn't it?
It might have, yeah, when
Epic Games.
Them. And there was this kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other debate, because, like, on the one hand, Psyonix was saying, like, community orgs shouldn't have to be reliant on funding from Psyonix, which is, that's fair enough, I think. It shouldn't be Psyonix.
It's like at a certain level, yeah, but yeah, you can't expect them to fund every single grassroots org out there.
Yeah.
At the same time.
But then at the same time, like, there wasn't even any support in kind of just promoting events on Twitter or something, which probably could have been done. They could have done a kind of a spotlight on a community org or retweeting events and stuff, because there are people who want to play in the events. And there are Rocket League people who probably haven't ever heard of any of the tournament organizers before. And one tweet on twitter.com/Rocket League could just open up the floodgates for an org and, be ridiculously helpful.
I mean, to be fair, I think stuff like the Renegade Cup did help with that a bit.
That's true.
And that had like the right motivations behind it, but I'm pretty sure that was before they got acquired, and after that it just kind of went a bit dry.
Yeah, that was like 2018, right? Winter of 2018. Renegade Cup.
Yeah, that was around the time.
We were both just starting at uni, I remember.
Yes.
We offloaded, delegated a lot of the work to our staff team instead, I think.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in lectures talking to our graphic designer about the logo ideas, and in like a conversation with Skylar from Psyonix. He was what was he working as then? The esports community manager or something. He'd been brought in.
Yeah, something like that.
He was we really liked Skylar. Very helpful guy. Really, really good for the scene. Gave me a great recommendation on LinkedIn as well.
I was going to say that.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. What were we talking about? Community orgs.
You just went off on one about Skylar, man. Maybe you should pursue him a little bit. So a lot of the orgs weren't happy with it, and they couldn't get funding, and lots of things were shut down because of it, to my knowledge. I think this was also fairly shortly after they'd made. Oh no, that wasn't that long after they made it, but they made the like community regulations. About like you can't, you have to hit us up if you have an event with a certain prize pool. You can't run an event sponsored by certain companies, and that was a big one actually, because we actually were contacted by or we got in contact with a large company that wanted to sponsor us that wasn't Psyonix, which was a really big deal. But they're an alcohol company, so we contacted Psyonix like, hey, can we do this? And they were like, no, sorry. So it was like, it kind of felt like, to us at least, we were kind of at Psyonix's mercy, because they were the only people giving us money, because we couldn't get really money from anywhere else without their approval.
Yeah. So I wasn't the only one who noticed that. I noticed that around the time of the Epic acquisition, because there was some like grassroots support to an extent. Like you said, the Renegade Cup, and they had a push not at the same level, but they had a push for like all of the collegiate cups as well, like at least in NA. But I don't know, it's like they got acquired and then everything just sort of went. Like that was it, nothing. Didn't hear anything apart from RLCS.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at that point I kind of began to drop off the Rocket League scene. I did lose interest kind of around 2019, I think, just because it was kind of a bit clear that, I don't know, it didn't really feel like a priority anymore to support the grassroots stuff, and I also had my own other priorities.